What's up, you guys? Welcome back to week 2 of my Vancouver Canucks weekly recap. This is where I look back at the week the Canucks had and I just recap it as a whole and go over the games played and just kind of everything Canucks related within the week. This is what I do because I can't necessarily sit down and record recaps of every single game, although I would love to get to doing that and maybe I will do that, but as of right now, I'm just doing weekly recaps. Of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you guys are a Vancouver Canucks fan, it would mean a lot if you guys subscribed and liked the video if you enjoyed. I also do a lot of other hockey content, mostly involving jerseys. As you can see, I collect jerseys behind me. But let's get into this week. So the Vancouver Canucks had 3 games headed into this week after finishing 2-0 against the Edmonton Oilers in their first 2 games. They had a home opener in Vancouver, home opener in Edmonton. They went on to face a home opener in Philadelphia this week, and then they played the Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers. To be honest, I already talked about those first 2 games in Vancouver, but after those, I was feeling pretty optimistic. I was thinking if the Vancouver Canucks could win against the Philadelphia Flyers and go up 3-0, they could use that momentum to maybe take down the Tampa Bay Lightning and Florida Panthers, or even just one of those, and have a 4-1 record going into their last road game against the Nashville Predators. However, the Philadelphia Flyers had other plans as they stomped Vancouver 2-0. You guys can see it here, 2-0. Both goals came in the first period, and the Philadelphia Flyers just locked us down for the rest of the game and held on to that 2-0 lead. And I will give the Flyers full credit because they came out flying in this game. You guys can see the shots on goal per period. First period was actually not too bad. I believe I should write notes down, but off the memory, I think Vancouver came off pretty slow, and then they rebounded at the later half of the first period. Then the Vancouver Canucks came out and just got absolutely smoked in that second period. Like, if you don't look at that second period shot differential there, you think this is actually a pretty good, close game. But that second period right there just absolutely transformed this game. And, I mean, Philadelphia already had that 2-0 lead, but they just locked it down in the second period, gave the Canucks absolutely zero momentum, which, I mean, it worked. We did lead in shots in the third period, but it didn't feel still like we were trying to catch up in this game. You know what I mean? Like, never once did it feel like the Vancouver Canucks were fighting to get back into this game. It just felt like they were just riding the game. Like, they had no momentum. They were just playing the game and just going through it. Like, it didn't seem like they wanted to win in this game. And say all you want about the Canucks losing to Philadelphia, but Philly has kind of looked like they're coming out with some vengeance this season, as they even did take down the Edmonton Oilers. So you know they're coming out firing. Like, I mean, we beat Edmonton, but Edmonton's having a slow start. They also lost to Philadelphia. I don't think Philadelphia is like a sleeper team. I think they're going to come out and play hard, and that's exactly what Tortorella is going to get them to do, and that's what they did against the Canucks, and I just think we were caught lacking. I genuinely think we came off 2 wins against Edmonton Oilers, and the Canucks went into this game thinking they were just all of that and thought they could just smoke Philly without trying, and clearly that was not the case. They got outworked in this game. Taking a look at the box score here, you can see the shots on goal, face-offs for 50-50. Vancouver had no power play goals, which I think hurts them. Their penalty kill was good, like Philly went 0 for 4, but with a power play as lethal as what we have to be able to capitalize on 3 power plays, especially against the Philadelphia Flyers. Like, we could have scored 2 out of 3 of those power plays and we're right in this game, even though we didn't deserve to be. So this game was tough looks. Vancouver Canucks fall to the Philadelphia Flyers 2-0, and I think, you know what? That hurts. That's typical Vancouver, to lose to the teams that you should beat and beat the teams you shouldn't. But I thought they would come out hard against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And in all fairness, I think they might have came out hard against Tampa Bay. Like, I don't think they got smoked by Tampa Bay. There was a lot of instances, specifically 2, where Tyler Myers handed Tampa Bay some goals. And I think if Myers doesn't hand Tampa Bay those goals, we could have a 3-2 win here. And I think Tyler Myers just had a really, really rough game like he typically does. Take a look at the scoring here. Tampa opened the scoring in the first period there, followed by Besser and Myers actually kind of trying to redeem one of his goals. That goal that Nick Paul scored on the power play was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Sure, it was Tyler Myers' fault, but I think it was Phil DiGiuseppe who passed it. A bad pass back into our end. I'm pretty sure he was trying to pass to the defenseman on like the far wall, the right hand wall there, and I think it missed him and went around, and I think Demko got it behind the net, then rung it around, I'm pretty sure if my memory is right, and then it came out to Myers, and instead of I'll try to put a photo on the screen here of this, but instead of putting it down the center of the ice, which I know center of the ice is bad, sometimes you chip it off the boards and down, but he had a straight lane down the center of the ice. He tried to pass it to a player going literally the other way. big turnover, and Tampa Bay pretty much went in on a 2-on-0, scored the easiest goal they'll ever score in their life. Brock Besser scores. It's good to see him keep scoring. This is good for him. I mean, I'm happy for him. He deserves this. Tyler Myers, again, like I said, redeems himself. Then Isamont goes in and ties it to 2. Kucherov again scores. Kucherov was really good in this game. He scores again in the third period to make it 4-2. JT Miller with seconds left, really like a minute and a bit left, scores to make it 4-3. And I was thinking, oh my God, the Canucks are giving us a little bit of hope like they like to do, and they couldn't do it. They honestly, at the end of this game, it looked like there was no urgency. You know how Vancouver sometimes gets kind of pinned for being that team that makes too many passing plays and just doesn't shoot the puck on net, especially in situations like this? It's exactly what happened. They just didn't shoot the puck on net. Vancouver Canucks continued the trend of just getting absolutely smoked in the second period. They did it again here, kind of getting outshot 18-6. First period was good. Third period, they really took it to Tampa. I actually really liked that third period. Other than the no urgency in the end there, I thought they actually played relatively well in that third period. But that second period, you just can't be getting outplayed like that. Special teams hurt us yet again. Before in that game against the Philadelphia Flyers, it was not scoring on the power play. Here, it's not killing penalties, as Tampa Bay got 2 of their 4 goals on the power play, one of which was that Myers disaster. But then Kucherov, I believe it was Kucherov, scored again on the power play. And it's like, we just can't be getting scored on like that. It's just tough in games like this where, I mean, we only had 1 power play and Tampa had 3, but if we only have 1 power play, we got to make it count. We got to score on it. And if we don't, we got to kill the penalties. Like, we just have to, because special teams, it was the difference maker in this game for sure. Otherwise, it actually wasn't that bad of a game. We got outshot, but that's that second period making it look bad. And I think that's really where the main difference went in this game. Then we go up against the Florida Panthers, okay? The Canucks win 2 in a row, lose 2 in a row. They're looking to rebound against the Florida Panthers. We end up getting Mikheyev back in the lineup, but unfortunately, Tocchet decides to bench Nils Höglander. I have no idea why that was the case. I would have rather, honestly, there was multiple players that could be benched. Joshua has been pretty much useless on this team so far this season, in my opinion. Bolivier also has done nothing. Garland has scored, sure, 1 goal, but he hasn't really looked great. There's like numerous people I think that could be benched over Höglander. I think Höglander in that game against Tampa really showed grit and showed why he works hard and why he deserves to be in this lineup just to get scratched the next game. I don't think it was fair for him. I genuinely don't think it was fair for him. I think Tocchet preached that thing where he said, work for your ice time or earn your ice time. And I think Höglander earned his ice time in that last game, in my opinion. So it is a little bit disappointing to see him benched. But the Vancouver Canucks come out and they win 5-3 over the Florida Panthers. And it wasn't a clean win whatsoever. Vancouver Canucks had the lead going into the third period. Then they blew the 2-goal lead they had. And then they end up scoring again and getting an empty netter, which we'll talk about. Quinn Hughes opens the scoring, absolutely well-deserved on the power play here. A nice power play goal. You like to see that from a defenseman, especially Quinn Hughes, who wants to score more power play goals. So, I mean, you absolutely love to see that. He also had a really sick keep-in at the blue line where he had no business keeping the puck in. And after doing that, I was like, oh, Quinn Hughes is feeling it. He's scoring a goal. And he did. Barkov then answered back unassisted. It was actually a sweet goal, just a sweet move. Like, literally right away after 20 seconds after Quinn Hughes scored, which was just, like, typical, you know, typical Vancouver. Carson Soucy scores on the power play. Actually a really nice shot, clean shot, top corner. It's nice to see defensemen scoring for the Vancouver Canucks on the power play, something we didn't get a lot of. I believe all of last year we literally had like 2 goals on the power play from defensemen. So it was really good to see that we already have 2 goals on the power play. Petey gets a goal off a nice assist from Kuzmenko, assist by Mikheyev as well. Kuzmenko was out there for blood this game. I actually really liked it. I was commenting on the last game against Tampa that Kuzmenko's kind of felt invisible. He just doesn't seem engaged. And this game was the opposite. He really did prove me wrong on that case because he did come in and was super engaged in this game against the Philadelphia Flyers, getting a sweet spin around assist for Petey there. Then we go into the third period, and this is where things get a little rocky. You can see the third period start. The Canucks start a little bit slow. You guys can see the shots here were 19-4 for the Florida Panthers in that third period. Vancouver dominated, I'd say, the first and the second. They looked really good in those periods. I genuinely think we deserved to have that 3-1 lead going into the third, but we also deserved to lose that 3-goal lead in the third. And genuinely, we could have lost this game, and I wouldn't have been shocked by how that third period went. Florida came out and just dominated that third period off the bat and looked really, really good. They looked like they wanted it. The Canucks were kind of sitting back and defending, and that scared me a lot. And obviously it should have, because Sam Reinhart scores 2 goals and gets the Florida Panthers back into the game and tied the game. Without a sick offensive push from DiGiuseppe in the forecheck to pin 2 players on the boards and take the puck away, he absolutely robbed and stole the puck away from Ekman Larsson, which put a smile on my face, and passed it to the slot for Kuzmenko, who just made a nice move and scored. I mean, this could have been an overtime game we could have lost. Like, DiGiuseppe, in my opinion, won us the game on that forecheck. I'm not a huge DiGiuseppe fan, but I mean, he does what a lot of Canucks don't do, and that's what he does right there, is forecheck. Then Besser gets the empty net and tallies to his goal mark this year, which is awesome to see, as long as he keeps padding the stats like that. Looking at the box score for this one, special teams won us the game. Special teams are huge in all these games. You guys see a trend. Special team loses us games, but it also wins this game as we go 2 for 3 on the power play and 0 for 2 on the penalty kill. That's what you like to see. We may have been outshot, but that third period kind of skewed that. Florida just kind of came in hot. I'm worried about us getting outshot. I genuinely am. Every single game, pretty much, we seem to be outshot, and I don't think that's a key to success. Casey DeSmith played really well this game, and if he doesn't play really well, who knows what kind of game we're looking at here. I think the Canucks need to focus on getting more zone time and getting more pucks towards the net. I don't like the fact that we get outshot in pretty much every single game we play. But the Vancouver Canucks go on next week to finish the road trip in Nashville. They could finish this road trip 4-2, and if that's the case, I'm genuinely happy. Like, I know the games have looked kind of rough if you break it down. Like Philly, we looked terrible, and we could get that win. Tampa, again, we just kind of started to get outplayed. Florida, we ended up getting a good win. I think that was a gutsy good win. And even the win in Edmonton, the last one there, the second game, we probably should have lost that any other time if Edmonton's not on a slump like they're on. So, I mean, to come out of this 4-2 would be huge. The Vancouver Canucks really do need to come in hot against Nashville there and come out with a win. Like, they really need to. And then they go on to have a back-to-back against St. Louis and the Rangers. St. Louis has been struggling by the start of the year, so they should be able to pull it a win there maybe. But that's a road trip, or that's a homestand, so we'll see how that goes next week. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like I said at the beginning, if you guys are new, it would mean a lot if you guys subscribed. Like the video if you enjoyed. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.